Hello everyone, and welcome to my new Let's Look At. Today we're going to be looking at Walk Sim. Apparently a game that I don't really grasp the whole nature of because I haven't even started yet, but it was something along the lines of looking at walking simulators and different people's thoughts on them. I'm not sure how much dialogue is in this. I'm doing this live as a change, because normally I do Let's Look At's post-commentary, but we're doing this live today for some reason. I'm interested because I personally don't mind walking simulators as long as they advertise themselves as walking simulators. They can be fun, they can be downright terrible. I'm looking forward to seeing which one this falls under, so let's get into it. We start out, well, here, so let's get walking, I suppose, because there's nothing else really to do. Okay, well, let's see. You rifle through bits of life in all these games to answer crucial questions. Okay. Neat. So I have to actually look around for stuff to, read. It's the environment. Without a certain touch, careful thought, the facade falls away. And come back across as lazy when a game is largely built around simple mechanics. A staple of walking simulators is outdoor environments. Not entirely wrong. Stanley Parable. I do love Stanley Parable. Dear Esther, yeah, it's fine. Well, I don't like the ending too much, but it's fine. What the hell? Why is there two Stanley Parables? Oh, that's pre-release. Okay. You know, I didn't know there's this many walking simulators out there. Wait, Virginia? Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of that other thing. I'm thinking of the one where no, that's a horror game, not a walking simulator. Perhaps the largest factor is how it tells it. Some will tell them quietly using the environment, while some will have a voiceover of characters talking to themselves. What the hell's this? You can see a selection of walking simulators that have some of the biggest splashed in... made some of the biggest splashed... some of the biggest splashes, I think that's meant to say. There are only a few of the many, many walking simulators out there. Virginia, going home. Stanley Parable. Yeah, you kind of did that with the previous wall. But yeah, it's okay. Derogatory term. No, walking simulator kind of fits it perfectly. Don't try and make it sound better than it is. I mean, that's what do you think I'm doing here? You think I'm fighting something? You think I'm shooting guns? No, I'm walking around. Oh, they're just showing screenshots of previous things. That's an interesting item to pick up. Okay. Guess I'll keep moving then, because I don't really care about previous screenshots of previous games.
Psst. Hey, so you just got to the stairs, which means you've got an idea of what a walking simulator is. Or I hope you do if you're here already. Suffice to say, they play pretty much like what you're doing right now. And I think it's important to establish what something is before you speak at length about it. For clarity.
Okay, so I thought that was like... no, that's just a door. Okay. Well, great. More reading.
Here you can see the immediate reactions to these games. Essentially, the user reviews. This isn't to say that people can't take their time and be thoughtful and critical of their evaluation. However, more often than not, it's a quick, visceral takeaway from the game.
Yeah, so, okay. I'm trying to read all this while making insightful commentary, and I'm failing pretty hard, but avoid at all costs if you want a game. There's nothing even slightly resembling it. Sometimes I gotta agree with that one. Yeah, I don't really look at point-and-click adventures as a game, more so just like an interactive storytelling experience, which is fun in its own right if that's what you like, but games I don't usually qualify as anything unless they have like a goal or some kind of antagonist and protagonist relationship, personally.
Critics, on the other hand, are far more receptive of these games, often acclaiming them in their eloquence or execution. To some degree, it's the indie factor, a small group of people doing something different in the landscape of digital games. Past that, they often are simply good games, just not games as games are understood by a larger audience.
Yeah, there's also the rampant corruption where they're getting paid for reviews, but I guess we'll just kind of gloss over that one. Unless you actually believe IGN's, non-biased. Oh, that's funny. You probably think CNN's real news too. Now I just pissed off half the country, so let's keep reading here. Yeah, so they're basically saying, well, the reviewers like it, but the problem is a lot of reviewers don't really play mini games. So I mean, I don't think critics are as trustworthy as actual users. I say that as a user. So I mean, I'm biased too, I guess. But oh Jesus, that's bad design. Put me in like facing this direction. Don't just put me facing the wall now. That's just lazy. I imagine. I don't know. I don't design games, but that seems pretty lazy. The Jaggies.
Games that are good games, but not games as games are known by most who play games. It's kind of a terrible descriptor to call anything digital and interactive a game, isn't it?
It's lazy and just justification for something that it doesn't seem like it takes a whole lot of effort to make, honestly. But this coming from a guy who doesn't make games, so I don't know. Like, a game implies some sort of effort. This doesn't really take effort. I mean, I'm pushing the W key and moving my right hand a little bit. That's like it. I don't really call that effort. Or something where it requires me to fight or play something or not really do much of anything. But there I go, being all consumer-like again. I mean, yeah, this is pretty, but I mean, there's no story here. I realize it's not going for that feel, but I don't know. I guess it's really more of like that kind of game where,
In these games, you have fairly minimal control. Even right now, at best, you're moving and looking at the same time and hitting these invisible triggers for dialogue. This degree of minimalism isn't a problem. The problem is the idea that because it's minimal, that there's something missing. Minimalism doesn't take away from something, it enhances what's already there.
are you serious? That No, it doesn't. Not in the least bit. But yeah, I can see why you'd say that, Mr. Creator, but I have to respectfully disagree with that one. Not really much more to say about that. You're basically saying, well, it's okay to be lazy because it enhances what's already there. No, it doesn't really at all, in my opinion. That's all that is, opinion. By all means, please continue trying to convince me, though. I try and keep an open mind. It's just you're not making very good arguments, to me anyway. Oh, we're just gonna stay quiet the whole time. And by the way, this is in, I think, pre-alpha, or is it just alpha? Anyway, so this isn't a completed thing. I don't know if they plan on completing it or not, but at least they made trees look pretty good, I guess. Clouds look pretty terrible, though.
In a lot of ways, the reasons walk sims work as well as they do is because it's about the journey, not the destination.
That's great, but this isn't much of a journey. We're just kind of like walking and nothing's really happening. You know, in the actual walking simulators, it's like, who am I kidding? A lot of them, they don't have much happening either. Dear Esther kind of had stuff happening for it. You know, Stanley's Parable, that had stuff happening for it. I haven't played Virginia or any of that. I realize you're not trying to make this like, this is a good walking simulator game. That's not what they're going for here. But, I mean, yeah, to be fair, they do make some good points, but the whole minimalistic thing is okay, I don't agree with that. But yeah, a lot of times they do have something happening for it. So I guess that's a good point. I just don't think laziness should be rewarded and given the benefit of the doubt most of the time. That's how you get bad games. Any minute now, we'll get another dialogue thing. Or any kind of ambient noises. Hell, just birds chirping would have made this so much better. I mean, this is just like, I'm deaf. The character is deaf. At this point. Shit, dude. Put a waterfall. Even if it's a static-looking waterfall, add water sounds. Anything. Feels like my character is deaf. For all I know, the character is supposed to be deaf, but I don't think that's what they're going for either. What's the ultimate... like... I don't know, they said this is like a 10-minute experience on... Excuse me, probably extending this by a couple minutes by sitting around yammering on. In a minute now. Give me some more justification. Do something. Do it. Oh, here we go. I guess there is no more dialogue. We're just gonna keep moving forward. Why do you put me facing the wrong direction again? Wowee, those GameCube level grass
From how
graphics.
people have responded to them, it says a lot.
You done? I was waiting for you to say something else.
They either aren't video games, or they're so far at the edges of what a game can be, pushing those definitions.
I
Then,
guess.
of course, what is a video game? At the beginning of this, I vaguely defined what a walking simulator was, but not a video game. Which, for all intents and purposes, is what a walking simulator is. And that's just another problem in the larger landscape of games. Because of the age of video games, we don't have proper descriptors for a lot of the nuances of this media. Space Invaders and World of Warcraft are both video games, but anyone can tell you that they're vastly different from each other.
Yeah, but you're actually, like, making a difference in those games and going towards a greater goal instead of just, like... I don't know about... I mean, I guess technically... Well, I mean... I was gonna say, I guess technically the alien things you had to only hit W and D, and then the right or left mouse click. But that's still 3 key presses as opposed to just W and moving your mouse a little bit. I don't know, I guess there's a challenge in video games. Walking simulators, there's not really a challenge in my mind. That's my definition.
How do walk sims fit in with all this? They do exist at the already blurred edges of digital games. They're the products of people pushing and exploring narrative systems in an admittedly limited scope of interaction. Like most indie games, they're pushing the boundaries that most AAA platforms can't or won't. They offer a degree of authenticity in the realm of digital games, one that's often lacking. Small teams or one-person developers putting their all into a game, creating something new and interesting at the cusp of a constantly evolving media.
I wouldn't say new and interesting. I'd say, as a consumer, lazy. But I guess I can kind of see what they're trying to do, but I'm not artsy like that. But it's kind of hard to have some kind of antagonistic force in a walking simulator, I guess. Because you can only really walk. You can't really do anything else. So I guess I can kind of see the counterpoint to that. Hey, I mean, if people will buy it, I say more power to you to make it. I just don't buy them. So, you know, I'm not a consumer for that market. See, now this is good. If the world feels a bit more alive now. I can hear the birds cawing and chirping. I can hear what sounds like a waterfall. This is okay. Still would like to, you know, have something, a little more dialogue to fill in the I guess I should be walking. I guess they don't expect you to just stop when you're listening, but I do that a lot. I can't do 2 things at once. Listening and moving. What the hell, man? I can't move left there, or can't move right there. I got hit an invisible wall. Wonder how long this goes, just for the record. I guess we'll find out here in a little bit, because I should be... Well, I don't know how far away I am. I haven't played this through before, so this is all new to me. We look to be coming up on... well, I don't know what that is. All I see is a forest. And a beach. Or is that a...
It doesn't matter if you understand it, or it doesn't matter if you get it. It's not a problem to be solved. It's just a thing to be in for a while.
I guess, but the problem is a lot of walking simulators you have to pay like $40 for like a 2-3 hour experience. At least the ones I remember. But that's not all of them, I'm aware. It was just... If you're gonna do that, at least make it like, I don't know, like $3. In my opinion. This is pretty nice. I like the way this looks. That zone in, though. Yeah, I kind of get what they're doing. They're going for here. I guess it's just up for everybody to decide what if you like walking simulators or you don't. Personally, I don't have a problem with them. I just think some of them are overpriced, and I don't buy them because I like having a little more interactivity with my video games. They're like half like I view walking simulators as part movies because it's about as much interactivity, except well, you push W and you move your mouse a little bit, or you hit forward on your left control stick and that's it. I mean, and maybe you move your right thumbstick a little if you're on console, but I don't know, I guess I judge video games based on interactivity and what the player can do to interact with the game world you're in. And I don't particularly like walking simulators because you can't really do that as much. But if you'd like to let me know what you think of walking simulators, put so in the comments below. I'm always interested in hearing other people's opinions on things that vary from my own, or even agree with my own. From what I understand, you walk into the beach and the whole thing starts over, so I guess I'll test that, see how far I can go. Apparently not very far. So that was it for Walk Sim, Walk Sim. A neat little thing, showing the developers' views on it. I'm not mocking the developers, I'm not, berating their opinion, I'm just giving my opinion in retort. I think that's a neat little thing. Personally, I don't agree with a lot of what they say, but if everybody agreed with everything, the world would be very boring now, wouldn't it? So thank you guys very much for watching, and hopefully I shall see you next time. Farewell everyone, until then.